Okay, hello everyone. Today's October 17th. This is the SIG Instrumentation meeting. We have a couple of topics on the agenda today. First off is a quick hello from the release team. Do we have someone from the release team here today?
I pinged them. They put that on our last meeting agenda, and we ended up not meeting. Given that we're past the enhancement freeze, I didn't hear from them after pinging them, so I suspect that might be obsolete now.
Okay. I don't think there's anything like net new that we have in 117, right? Like there are things that we have started previously that we have plans for, and I understand we are more or less on track for those things.
Yeah.
For 117.
Sort of in progress. As far as like basically, I don't think that we made any progress on the metric stability stuff this release, unfortunately. There is a very small enhancement window, and with KubeCon coming up and various leaves and that kind of thing, both Han and I did not have a chance to work on that. I had looked last release into trying to throw in like sort of a feature flag for enabling the hidden metrics. And we decided to not go forward with that because according to the spec in the cap anyways, we need to be able to turn them on and off by a specific like metric name. That was going to take more implementation. That could have happened at this release. It did not. So.
Really, in the spec, we specified that you could turn on a per metric basis. I actually don't remember that. But,
yes. Yeah, that was one of the interesting, exciting things that I discovered from the cap. So.
Okay. But yeah, I guess we did agree on that. So let's implement it in that way.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that we could walk that back, which would maybe make our lives a little easier and do it just like all hidden metrics or no hidden metrics per binary. Like that would enable the feature flagging approach I could pick up like with my last PR. But maybe if we want to do that, or if we want to propose that, we should probably look into updating the cap.
Yeah. We don't have Han here today, I believe.
Yeah, he's on paternity leave right now. So
I see. Okay.
So Marek Sharkovich, Seratios, I think is working with Han on this as well. I think he's going to take over this work, but he's unfortunately not attending today as well. But in general, like my understanding is that there is cap, and he's going to basically implement whatever is in this cap.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that Elena was already taking the lead on some of those things, particularly the flag for, was it the kubelet, I believe?
Yeah, well, I started on, to be clear, Han asked me to take a look at it, and I just sort of jumped into some of it, and it was a very educational exercise, so I appreciated being able to sort of get my hands dirty in some of the code. I'm also happy to hand it off to someone else, and I can provide them with context and whatnot, because, you know, day job things don't always allow for a lot of upstream contributions. But yeah, so I started looking at, basically we need to add a flag, whether or not it's like on a per metric basis or just show all the hidden metrics or not. We've got to add those flags to the kubelet, the API server, I think kubeproc, like all of the various binaries basically. And they need to be wired up, and every single one of them, it turns out the code is subtly different in special and exciting ways. And so I was kind of working through that in the work in progress PR I threw up. I was able to do so in the kubelet and had started work on the API server and a few others, but did not get that through to completion. So if your colleague wants to, like Seratius wants to sync with me, and I can give him sort of an update on that. There's also been a fellow who's been pinging me a bunch on the Kubernetes Slack, Rainbow Mango. But I don't, he's not on this meeting, so I'm not sure. He seems to be interested in helping out with this as well.
I've talked to him a couple of times. Unfortunately, the meeting time is not good for him because it's like the middle of the night for him. I believe he's in China, which actually, like, don't need to discuss this right now, but maybe we can have an alternating meeting. I think some SIGs do that. But yeah, let's not go off topic. Yeah, he's definitely interested in things. I feel like if we can come up with a way where we can first introduce a flag for all or nothing and then extend that mechanism, that seems like a reasonable thing to do, because then we have all the wiring and everything already. I don't know. I don't know the implementation well enough to be able to judge if the current state of things would allow that.
Yeah,
maybe you can comment on that.
the plumbing is slightly different depending on whether you do it with a feature flag versus a CLI flag. And the reason that I was looking into doing it with a feature flag initially was that you can remove feature flags from the binaries, but once you put in a CLI flag, I think you can never get rid of it, kind of thing. Interesting. That was why I was looking at that approach, and the implementation is a little bit different.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Also, I will ask Marek to reach you, Elana. Do I pronounce your name correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I do feel like we're on the same page, at least in terms of 117. Whether we'll ship things or not, we'll see. But in terms of the planning, it seems like we're aligned. Or is there anything that we haven't mentioned that people feel like we wanted to get into 117? I take silence as a no. Okay, I mean, the next point on the agenda is Piotr with 1.17 plans.
Yeah, this is something that I wanted to discuss last time, like as I was aware that there is a deadline for caps and enhancement features. Unfortunately, we didn't talk too much last time. However, it seems that we are good. Yes, I ensure that, you know, at least in context of this metrics stability effort, we have proper caps and we can move on with the implementation. I think this is the case. I think you should also start thinking a little bit about like long-term roadmap, like maybe something 2020, and you know, probably like KubeCon will be a good opportunity. Like Contributor Summit during KubeCon will be a good opportunity to discuss this, like to have some long-term plans so that, you know, we can utilize people better, because I think there is plenty of people interested in contributing into SIG instrumentation. At the same time, we don't have a good you know, backlog of the things to do. And it's hard to, like, if you are new or you are, you know, not very hands-on in this area, like it's hard to, like, you know, start from like a high-level idea. So does it make sense to have a kind of, I'm not sure like what is the status of the agenda for Contributor Summit, but maybe like we can have a kind of at least informal discussion around this area.
Yeah, I haven't seen any possibilities for having rooms booked like we did for Barcelona. Does anybody know more about this for San Diego? Because we had some really good discussions about these kinds of things at Barcelona, I think. We didn't name it this way, but we did discuss a bunch of things that are definitely further out there, but that people who had the who have the time could already start picking up. So yeah, I think Contributor Summit could be good, but we need to maybe also be a little bit better at writing these things down. We did, I think, take a couple of meeting notes, but I don't think we actually followed up on them, which we should have.
Yeah, I still have all of the meeting notes and then everything that needed to get followed up on from like KubeCon North America last year. I didn't go to Barcelona. So all I know for this year, I will be attending the Contributor Summit. So I'll be on site for that. I know that there's a SIG instrumentation meet and greet or something that's happening in the afternoon. I volunteered for that. So, you know, I guess I'll get to go meet all the excited new contributors and have nothing to assign them to. In terms of like, I think there's also supposed to be a couple of like SIG instrumentation sessions that are on the agenda. Like there's an intro level one and a intermediate level one or something like that. Our esteemed chairs, are you attending and running those? Like, what's going on with those? Because one of them I know is scheduled during my talk.
Oh, yeah, that's not great.
But it's the intro level one, so I don't know if I need to be there for that.
Oh, you mean like intro and deep dive sessions?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So intro, I haven't talked to Piotr about this just yet, but I'll probably do the same one that I did last time, which is basically what have we worked on so far? How can you get involved? Just like high level things, because it's really meant for people who may have never contributed to Kubernetes, may be completely new to KubeCon Kubernetes. So that's supposed to be like super low level, like low entry. And then the deep dive is going to be Han describing the metric stability framework this time around. I mean, I think both of those are maybe not worth it for you. I mean, you're of course happy to attend, but I'm not sure you'll learn something.
Yeah, no, I didn't imagine that I would learn something. I didn't know if the deep dive session was going to be like, or just lecturing to an audience, or if it's like more of a sort of like SIG, let's get some stuff done. As far as, I mean, probably the intro, because Han and I's talk is basically like, here's an intro to like all of the metrics and SIG instrumentation, that maybe we should try to get them to reschedule so they don't conflict, because it's like the same session happening at the same time. So I'll reach out to Nancy about that because I owe her an email. But other than that,
that would make sense. Yeah. Specifically because probably we should be giving each other a shout out in both talks. And if they're happening at the same time, that's unfortunate for the attendees. Yeah, that'd be great if you can do that. Otherwise, I can also try to reschedule the intro maybe. I believe Tarek, you're on the call. I think you set up some things in terms of the contributor summit. Is that right? You're unmuted, but I can't hear you.
Oh.
I think now I can hear you.
Is it better now?
Yes, you're a little quiet, but I think I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I'll try to speak as loud as possible. So yeah, your question was around the contributor summit events session, correct?
Yes.
So yeah, I did post on the SIG Instrumentation Slack, I think a couple months back, asking for volunteers for the SIG meet and greet. So yeah, and I think as Ilana said, she was one of the volunteers. I don't remember who was the other one who volunteered. Do you have any more questions on top of that though?
Like I'm wondering what the format for that is.
Oh, the format.
I'm actually not sure. I'm gonna check with so there's another teammate of mine who's been keeping track of that. I've only been keeping track of the overall schedule. I can get back to you on that.
I think that'd be great because maybe that would tell us if we would need to request an additional room or something to do some of the things that we discussed just now, or if we can use that for that. It sounds like it's more of a thing for newcomers, but yeah, I don't know. In case it's not, let's not occupy multiple rooms in that are short and short apparently anyways already. So yeah, if you could let us know, that'd be fantastic. And if that's not the kind of format that that we would need for discussing amongst us, then I would try to get a room through Chris or someone else on the CNCF. I already have another thread going for a room anyways, so I could do that. But yeah, if you could figure out the format, that'd be fantastic.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm assuming this would be a part of the new contributor workshop track, because we have that track in the contributor summit schedule.
Okay. Yeah,
I was
that does
asking
sound
though.
like that does sound like it's for new contributors, obviously. But yeah, just double
Two
checking.
tracks though. There's a new contributor workshop and the intermediate contributor workshop.
And there's a session for in each of those?
Yes. So there's
A morning session for each of those, yeah. So morning, afternoon, yeah. I think 2 afternoon sessions and 1 morning session, yeah.
Okay, okay. Okay,
If I'm not mistaken.
Like could be. Sorry? Go ahead.
What I said was, if I'm not mistaken, the new contributor workshop and the intermediate, they happen in parallel.
Okay. Yeah, that's how it happened in Barcelona, I believe. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if we can just get the confirmation on that, that'd be great, I think. Okay. Other than that, we don't have anything on. Oh no, we do have one thing. Actually, a few things. So there was one thing that happened in our infrastructure actually a while back now, which is there was an application that was acting up within the cluster, and it kept ooming multiple times, and also caused other things that happened to be on the same node to oom. And we ultimately did figure this out, but there wasn't really any metric exposed or anything like that that could have allowed us to detect this earlier. And as a matter of fact, I started looking around, and we don't even have events or anything telling us about kills. So I was wondering if people, like maybe if people have other experiences or other methods of detecting this. The best thing that I've come up with is using some of the kube state metrics for this. But the problem is that essentially it would be based on the last state, and that is exposed as a metric in kube state metrics. But that obviously, even if the pod is healthy, it's still the last state. So it's more of a band-aid than anything else. Do other people maybe already have a solution for this, or any suggestions of how we could solve this? No comment. So one thing that I thought about is at least on a per node level, the kubelet would be able to detect these kinds of things. That could be a possibility. But it'd be actually really fantastic if we could even surface this up to users and let people know on a per namespace basis or something like that, an aggregate of kills that have happened. But for that, we would actually need an event or something like that. Yeah, but it seems like nobody has a great solution for this. So I feel like maybe we can write up some possible solutions for this and then come back here and discuss them. Comments?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, great. And then I'm not sure who put this on here, but the point says keep stuff trackable. I think that's the kind of point that Piotr mentioned earlier. Is that right?
Yeah. So that was, I think, during the last meetings when you were not here. Like,
okay,
I think we should like build a backlog of stuff to work on.
Yeah, I agree. Let's make that a goal of us meeting at KubeCon, I would say. Okay. In that case, we're out of agenda items. Anything else anybody would like to discuss? Going once? Going twice? Okay. In that case, I'm giving everybody 6 minutes of their time back, and I wish you all a wonderful local time. See you next time. Bye.